Hello, and just turning that music down. Hope you can still hear me okay. So this is the start of a new weekly thing that I'm doing, that I've committed to do, to show up for myself and for all of you who might actually sometimes have a little bit of trouble to show up for yourself. Do you sometimes struggle to show up for yourself? Are you always there for yourself? Do you sometimes give up on yourself? Do you sometimes even abandon yourself? I wasn't going to go here, but actually I was at a social event a little while ago, and someone was so upset, and that person had completely lost all sense of who they were, where they were going, all to do with love. I mean, and I said to him, have you abandoned yourself? Right? And we all do it. We all do it. So I'm here today, and actually I nearly didn't come because I had a little accident this week, and I slipped down some stairs and banged the edge of the stairs on my back, and now there's a bit of a throbbing pain when I move. And I decided actually it was a perfect opportunity for me to do something about moving with pain. So here I am, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So obviously, if you're in such excruciating pain that it's like throbbing in agony, you have to just rest. Let's be clear about that. You have to just rest. And even that, although it sounds like obvious and common sense, how many times do we neck the painkillers, have a drink, and sort of forge on through? Yes, sometimes we have to get, if we have to pick up our child and no one else is going to pick up our child from school, we have to do it, even if, or we try and get someone to help. But sometimes we forge on through to do things that are just not good for us. And that happens not just on a physical level, it happens on an emotional level. We put ourselves in situations that we shouldn't put ourselves in. On a mental level, we sort of overstress with all the work that we have to do, all the figures and the facts and the paperwork and the spreadsheets, and you get really, really stressed. And then what happens? Your body just says, I'm not playing this game anymore, right? So I have got this pain here, and actually I am due to hold an ecstatic dance tomorrow evening in Wiltshire, and I've even put something out online, but I forgot to put it on to advertise it, even make the event for Sunday, so I don't know if that'll happen. But that's a monthly thing that I'm starting, like a reset. I've called it Soul Ritual. So we have this time to come together and just rest and reflect, gather, move, breathe, share, and sort of see where we're at the end of a month, at the beginning of a new month. So that's something I'm going to be starting to do every month. But yes, this morning when I moved out of bed, and after I sat down and moved again, I could feel this pain. I could really feel this pain. It's all on this side. So I'm going to start by just being present with it, because that's all we can. First of all, that is when we have something that's so present and there. I have this whole area is kind of swollen up with the pain, right? You just have to check in with yourself, check in with how the rest of your body is accommodating this pain. Perhaps already by having this pain, you're overcompensating, and you keep sort of walking over to one side, or you're not balancing your weight evenly. So checking in with how you are in yourself and how you are withholding the pain that's there in that side. checking that you're still breathing, because sometimes when we're in pain, we just sort of we start to hold our breath, just like when we're afraid or in shock or in terror, we might hold our breath. So checking in and just breathing into that space. And just allowing your breath to go to that place. And just letting the exhalation and your breath just start to dissolve through that pain. It's not dismissing it. It's actually welcoming it and receiving it, or rather it's acknowledging it rather than welcome it. And then I'm just going to very gently move. I might have to turn the music up slightly. So just very gently move a little bit. And just start by just noticing where your weight goes when you move and shifting it, but with the pain. You've got this companion that's with you, right? And you're going to take a lot of care with this companion. You're going to really take a lot of care. You're going to hold it and you're going to tend to it and you're just going to respect it. So I'm still going to inhale and exhale through. So just moving super, super slow. And as you're moving and you're breathing into the space where it's hurting, and you're just going at your own pace, you're just feeling into what you can physically do to accommodate movement with the pain, right? Movement with the pain. It's not dismissing it, unless it's, as I say, completely debilitating and you have to just rest up. Otherwise, just moving with it. And then the question is, do you want to hold on to this pain? Do you want to give it this energy of identifying it as a pain? Maybe it's just a presence. It's just a way of being. If you had been born with this pain since the day you were born, you wouldn't know any different and you would have managed, right? But because this is a new sensation and a new condition that you haven't had before, it's much more disturbing because we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to cope with it. If there's something that you just accept is there, and you go into the sensation of it however you need to when you move, you might find actually when you put less mental energy into that place and that pain, you just accept it and it becomes a part of you. But also, you might not actually notice it anymore. And I don't mean by that you move so that you ignore the caretaking. But it's just like, when my son was very young, I went traveling with him. He was an extra bag, and I was just always holding on. I was carrying him everywhere. I was doing everything. I was going to the bathroom with him. I was going everywhere. I never put him down. And yes, at first, perhaps he might have slowed me down, or it made things a bit more awkward. But you just accommodate that. Now, I think this next track that's coming on is actually quite a fast, high beat track, and I want to illustrate how you can just work with it. And just because a track is heavy or fast, it doesn't mean that you have to No, it's still a nice gentle track for a few minutes. So it's going with it. I'm just moving really slow, and when we move and dance, we're using all our senses. We're using our sight. We're feeling the air that's around us. We've got smells. We can see what's around. I will be doing some lives outdoors, but I thought not today, and it does depend on the signal, especially if I've got music, unless I could just have a little speaker, right, and do it that way. I am going to forward this track to a little faster one to show you how you can move with something that's a bit faster. Now, when you just work with the sensation that's there, and it's almost like you surrender to it. You surrender to that pain that's there. You just let it be. You don't try and fight it here. You don't try and project on it. You don't try and label it. Oh, it's such a bad pain. Oh, it's the worst pain I've ever had. Or, oh, how can all the stories, will it ever go away? All those kind of stories. Those are stories that just escalate the state of being that's just there, the actual presence. They're stories that just escalate it, right? And when you don't project and put the stories into that place, it just is. Now, there is an exercise, a special technique that my Reiki teacher showed me years ago, and she'd studied Tibetan healing, but I haven't been practicing this all the time. She was tuned to 3 different levels of Tibetan healing, and when I held her hand, she said, okay, this is level 1, and I could feel this like tingling in my hands, and then she goes, okay, now this is level 2, and it was literally like the dial had turned up, and there was this warm fuzziness in her hands, and then she said, okay, this is level 3, and then there was this really warm sort of feeling in her hands. Now, for those of you who think, energy medicine or energy is a bit woo-woo, anyone who has those kind of ideas, we all have sensations, we all have reactions and feelings when we meet new people. We might immediately find a very good rapport with them, or we might find it a bit hard. When people talk about certain energies and it being woo-woo, well, we've all walked into a work situation where the air, you could cut it like a knife, right? Or into a social situation where you just feel really awkward. And sometimes it's because we have our own stuff going on, but sometimes the social environment is not quite feeling as warm and welcoming. And I know that, children feel this straight away, right? That is an energetic thing. So I've forgotten why I was talking about that. Digressing. So this track, which is quite a fast tribally track. So I'm going to move with it in a way that's really slow, and I invite you to also find your own way to move with it. And you see, there's no pressure to be or move in any sort of way. There are no rules that say that you have to, jump around or bop to the beat, or you can do whatever you like. Sometimes it's really good to move at a completely different tempo to the actual music. Ah, yes, I know why I was talking about the atmospheres in rooms, because of my Reiki teacher and this technique where she's studied Tibetan medicine. And then what you can do, and you can try it, you put your hand onto where it is you have pain, and you ask, now this is normally done with someone else, but you could ask yourself, do I want to hold on to this pain? Do I want to hold on to this pain? Is there any benefit for me to hold on to this pain? Is there any benefit for me having this pain? Okay, and then you just imagine the pain, and imagine it slowly just shrinks. And keep moving with it. I'm just dancing with my shrinking pain. And you can do this several times, and what you might find is that pain will start to slowly shrink. Now, honestly, half an hour ago, before I scheduled this live a bit late today, I was thinking, I can't do this. Yes, I can still feel there's some slight twinges there, but it's not my main focus. It's not my main place of attention. So, as with all the beautiful music that I love and that I'm sure you all love, when it's got so many different levels and layers, and here in this track there's lots of different instruments. This is Shaman Scream, who I saw this summer. He's very good, Craig. I've forgotten his surname, but he's just had a baby. But anyway, I digress. So when the music has all these different levels and layers, those levels and layers are energetic waves, right? The music is energetic waves. And so there's different waves of energy that emanate from us, from the different layers of us. And that's why some music will touch you in different parts of your body and in different places, and touch you in a more emotional place than others. Or some music will just touch you on that real primal, get down to the beat kind of, with the bass and the rhythm. But there's a lot going on. So I'm really enjoying dispersing and accepting that I have no benefit to hold on to this pain, and I'm not particularly wanting to hold on to it. If it's there, it's there, but it's not something that I choose to put focus or energy on. And on that note, I hope you got something out of this. And if you thought I was talking a load of rubbish, you can also comment and tell me that as well. I'm all ears. It's always good to get a banter going. It's always good to hear your opinion, hear your feedback. And if you are absolutely in excruciating pain and you think she, has no idea, then try the shrinking and question if it's of benefit to you, and try to see if you can just reduce it a little bit and go into it, breathe into it. And sending you all the love. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend.